Hey guys, it's Wombat, and today, I've got to tell you something. This video is going to be a little different. We need to talk. Today we've got this review of Archer Hercules 13 Eternal. It was first released, I think, in June, I want to say. Yeah. I don't remember the exact date, but it was about a week before the Beyblade Brawl. And, it was actually kind of funny, and I'll talk about this later, but, I think it's been released a few times since then, but either way, let's just talk about the parts. The Archer Hercules layer it's got pretty good stamina and pretty good defense. It's basically a right spin Hill Salamander. And you can also say that Hill Salamander is basically a left spin Archer Hercules. It's basically these two layers, Hill Salamander and Archer Hercules, that are the top layers in the game right now, because they do have like such a great stamina and such great defense that you can put them on pretty much any competitive stamina driver and they'll perform pretty well. I guess I probably don't even need to tell you competitive Archer Hercules combos because there's so many of them out there. You can use 7 revolve, you can use 10 revolve, double O revolve, 7 cross or proof atomic, something cross on extend plus, 7 or 10 or double zero eternal, and something like, I don't even know what frame you would use on this anymore, but on bearing you can use it there too. There's just pretty much any competitive stamina driver you can use this with, and its defense is also pretty good as well. If you have something like Winning Valkyrie or Dead Hades on Extreme Dash, and you get the sliding shoot right, you probably will KO it, but it requires, that's just how attack works in general. If you get the launch right and you're using a good attack type, you're going to win. Especially against stamina combos on plastic tips like Eternal or Extend Plus or Bearing, but yeah, it's a pretty good layer, probably one of the best layers in the game, and there's actually like been rumors of there being 2 different molds of it. One of them is the one that came with the original version, which is supposedly softer and harder to burst. And then the one that was released in Random Booster 12, and I think also in that limited edition one with 10 cross and Excel dash, that's supposedly a harder plastic as well. I don't feel any difference between the two, and my original one from the booster is actually easier to burst than my blue one from the random booster. So I'm not sure if that's just some kind of placebo effect or if it's actually true, but I don't know if there's any like real way to confirm it. But overall, it's a pretty good layer, whichever one you pick up. And the disc is 13, originally released with Bloody Longinus. It's a bit unique in that it's kind of raised up, and that will allow it to, I guess, persist a bit longer than some other discs that would normally scrape or roll on their bottom edge. 13 doesn't really do that as much, but it's just too light to really compete, and it has bad weight distribution and kind of a bad shape as well. So overall, just not a very useful disc. And then finally, the driver is Eternal, which is more or less a shorter, wider revolve. This disc is supposedly made of POM. There's been a few people saying that it's not, but I think those people are in the minority. It hasn't really been confirmed as POM, but I'm under the impression that it is. I could be wrong. But either way, for some reason, like, even though in Metal Fight Beyblade, the shorter track Beyblade would usually destabilize the taller one to outspin it, that's not the case with Eternal for some reason. It doesn't really outspin Revolve or Bearing in same spin or Extend Plus, despite those all being taller than it. And especially with Extend Plus being super tall. That, I don't know, it's a bit strange how its same spin performance is so bad. But in opposite spin, it beats Atomic. It will lose to things like Destroy and Bearing and Extend Plus though. Assuming like you have the best frame. But what was I gonna say? It's kind of like been outclassed by Extend Plus, which beats it in both same spin and opposite spin, and doesn't have the same weird movement pattern that Destroy does, or the same burst resistance weakness like Bearing does. So it's still perfectly usable if you can get the driver matchup right, but it's not, I wouldn't consider it like super top tier anymore. And one thing that is, so I guess overall, Archer Hercules just as a stock combo is a pretty good stock combo. It was kind of funny how at VTuber Brawl, the most competitive combo of the game was Hell Salamander on Atomic, and just stock Archer Hercules could beat that. So the third place winner actually only used stock Archer Hercules that he had bought that day, and in an event of 172 players, he got third place. I think he went 10-2 using only this combo just because he only ran into like Hell Salamander on Atomic, or maybe some like Drain Fafnir combos, or some other just random stock winning Valkyrie or something. But overall, I don't know how much more expensive that limited edition Archer Hercules is with 10 Cross and Excel Dash, but 10 Cross is like so much better of a disc than 13 that it's probably worth picking up, even if like the mold thing does happen to be true. I haven't found that it makes Archer Hercules significantly weaker than, and even if it does, it's still relatively difficult to burst compared to, I guess, what else would you use? Something like Deep Chaos. I don't even know what else would be used in place of Archer Hercules. Maybe Air Knight, Hazard Kirbyus, Crash Ragnarok. Well, Air Knight's stamina isn't too great anyways, but either way, unless you really need Eternal, which I guess is also available on Air Knight, I would get the 10 Cross XL version of this instead of the booster version of Archer Hercules. It's also kind of an ugly color in my opinion, but that's just how it is, I guess. And I'll see you guys next time.